Practice doesn't make perfect. It never has and it never will. But that shouldn't stop you on your relentless pursuit of it. But just don't forget the first part. What you just saw there was the first time I hit golf balls since the last time you saw me hit golf balls, when my dad and I made the new tee box video. This is not uncommon. My typical week looks like go to work Monday through Friday, Saturday go film with my dad, Sunday edit. Although this works for me as far as making content, it does not work for me as far as improving my golf game, because I never practice. I never have an opportunity to sit there and work on my game or do anything that resembles improvement. But that doesn't stop me from expecting improvement. And this is one of the pitfalls of golf, is like every time we go and play, we expect to play the absolute best we ever have up until that point. Regardless of how much we practice, regardless of how much we play, we always have this like hope or anticipation that the next time we step on the golf course, it's going to be our best. And it never is. So when you start to play and things start to go wrong, you inevitably start to feel worse about yourself, about your game, about life in general. This is something that we like to call golf. It doesn't matter if you're new to the game or you've been playing your entire life, if you're young or if you're old. It has no bearing on the fact that everyone who plays this game always wants to play better than they did. I've been playing golf for 25 years. Started when I was 12 years old. I'm 37 now. And what I have discovered in that amount of time is that you're never going to be as good as you want to be. And in that pursuit of perfection that I had mentioned earlier, you can find yourself kind of becoming discouraged. And when you play and when you practice all the time and you still don't achieve the scores that you think you should achieve, what you find yourself doing is digging yourself into this hole of, I'm never going to be good enough. So in that last video, I talked about how when I play golf now, I don't play it well, but I find myself enjoying my time out on the golf course more. I mean, we can all agree that, yeah, it's not fun to go out and just play like absolute garbage, but on the same hand, I can tell you from experience, it is miserable to go out and shoot around in the 70s and just be completely distraught, because it doesn't make any sense. It's like most people would love to be able to break 80 or would love to be able to break 90. And for me to be out there just like so angry and so upset that I couldn't play up to my expectations, which were unrealistic from the beginning, it made the game so unenjoyable. I'm sorry to pause the video, but I did want to take a brief second to introduce myself. I'm Randy's brain, and I realize a lot of you out there are probably like, one, why isn't there anything going on? We'll get to that later. But most importantly, what the heck is Randy talking about? When I play golf, my enjoyment, the level of joy that I experience, is completely dependent on how I play. If I play well, I feel good. If I play bad, I feel bad. It's as simple as that. Not quite. Let me explain. Let's pretend that this D right here represents dopamine. Dopamine is a neuromodulator in your brain that's created to kind of as a reward system. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel woohoo about yourself. So anytime that you do anything that's rewarding, your brain pumps this out across the synapse, and then you have these little catcher mitt things on a cell that receives the D. D goes in there, and then that's just like home run. That feels awesome. So the way we can relate this to golf is, let's pretend that on this scale right here, that this is time moving forward. And then this up here is, I feel awesome. And this down here is like, triste. And this center line right here showing the movement of time is also our baseline. So this is like, I feel content. So let's say we go to the golf course, we're a little up. It's like, yeah, we're at the golf course. And then as time passes, we go to the first tee and we duck hook it out of bounds. Not feeling so good about ourselves. But then on the next hole, maybe we make a 25-foot putt for birdie. Brings us up a little higher. So as we move throughout the round, you can see how you can ride this dopamine roller coaster, and it can really affect your mood throughout the day. So even though that you're out there on the golf course, you can find yourself in these little trough moments where, let's say, you 3-putt the next hole. Oh man, that really sucks. And this was how Randy played every single round of golf, riding this dopamine roller coaster. And I feel like a lot of us fall victim to this. I mean, a lot of times I feel like we mistaken excitement for joy. Let me explain this. Okay, get this all erased here. We're gonna redraw. Get some juice in this thing. So there we are, we're content. As silly as it sounds, let's say you go out to the golf course and you're playing your round, the good, the bad's happening, and then you make a hole-in-one. The ultimate. Oh my gosh, you're getting so much dopamine, you feel so great right now, you're so excited, it's amazing. And then, let's say the next day you go out and you're playing your round, and let's say just crazy circumstance, you make another hole-in-one. But now you're here. Still feels amazing. I mean, you feel great about this, but it's just not quite what it was the first time. And this is kind of how our brains are wired. We don't get the same hit of dopamine each time the reward happens. If it's the same thing, it's a little less gratifying. If we didn't change anything, if there's not any new stimulus, then our brain's not going to reward us with more dopamine. Let's not even get this extreme. Let's say we go out there and we're at the end of our round here and we break 80 for the first time. You shoot 79 and you're like, heck yeah, best golfer ever, feel great about this. And then the next day you go out and you shoot 79 again. Well, you're there. And let's say week after week you keep shooting 79. And then eventually, 79 becomes the baseline. It becomes the expectation. So now, when you don't break 80, you feel awful. You feel low. When you play with this expectation, be careful because the reward diminishes. And it's why I've chosen to get off this dopamine roller coaster and instead play for the enjoyment. So, my advice to you, whether you're a high handicapper or an aspiring pro, is to play the game for fun. Yes, practice with purpose. Practice in the pursuit of perfection. But when you play for the joy of the game. And that means that when you get here, regardless of what happens throughout your round, you still had a good time. Thank you for taking a deep dive into Randy's brain. And I'll see you later. So I'll end this video by explaining the transition that happened between my late 20s and early 30s when I stopped chasing this perfection dragon and instead focused on the experience and my time out on the golf course and just like enjoying the company, enjoying the view, enjoying the walk. I mean, really just immersing myself in the experience as opposed to the outcome of the event. And one of the biggest things that changed my whole scope on this was this book right here called Golf is Not a Game of Perfect. And it's a book by Bob Rotella. It's about sports psychology. And it was written in a time when sports psychology wasn't really a thing. It wasn't really that popular, not like today. And in this book, it really explains this hunt for perfection and how much of a deterrent it can be, even at the highest level. It's forwarded by Tom Kite, and in the book it speaks of how a lot of these professional golfers who are elite, they're at the top of their game. Talks about Seve Ballesteros, it talks about Fred Couples, and these guys, they have these blocks because of this expectation of perfection and them chasing it. It impedes their progress and it impedes their performance. And it's only when that you play with the swing you have and you accept things for the way that they are that you're actually able to play the best golf that you possibly can. So I highly recommend any of you out there that are struggling with this. I don't care if you're, a +3. I don't care if you're a 23 handicap. Get this book, read it, check it out, and hopefully it opens your eyes to the fact that You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to hit every shot well. And you don't have to get mad when you hit bad shots. You just need to move on and focus on the next one. I realize that was a lot to digest. I just wanted to give you guys an insight to my journey through golf, where I started as this 12-year-old who was just grotesquely chasing perfection to this 37-year-old who's just plays mediocre golf now, but has way more fun doing it. So you can play this game any way that you want to. I'm not trying to tell you that one way is better, but I will say that playing the game with the intent to improve as opposed to being good, it makes all the difference in the world. So go out in your backyard, hit some chip shots, routinely swing the golf club, and I think you'll find yourself improving. Playing golf can be fun, but it's not going to make you better at it. Practicing this game is what creates consistency. And if you don't take the time and you don't put in the effort and you don't practice in a way that benefits your style of play, then how in the world are you ever going to expect to get any better? Thank you as always for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time, and good luck to you on your pursuit of perfection. Please thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, I will see you later. Boom!